Alright, the FV304 is getting nerfed, so I thought I'd throw up a couple of games that I had that were pretty old, and I just thought it would be entertaining to watch and see why the FV304 is getting nerfed. I'm sure there's like tons of these videos around, but just for funsies I figured I would throw up my own. And I'll play most of this in 2x speed because the first half of it's rather boring. And if I could, I would, play the Benny Hill theme music for the last half of it, but I don't want to get copyright infringement and muted, so you just have to watch it in relative silence. Oh, you can listen to me ramble. And so the good thing about the 304 is that it has this really fast mobile platform. It doesn't have a turret. It reminds me a lot of the SU-26. It's really accurate. The HE shells don't hit for a lot of damage, but it fires relatively quickly, fast enough so that you can actually chain track people. And yes, this is a game with a bunch of baddies. It's still entertaining nonetheless. That's how you can tell the pubs. You got one guy pushing another guy, and they're both getting themselves killed. The other nice thing about the FV304 is that it has a really sharp angle to it, like a lot of the British artillery, but the drawback to that is that it has a very short range. So you tend to have to move fairly close to them, but because it's such a small and mobile platform, that's usually not too big of a problem. And then I'm just trying to clear out this north here before we completely lose the south, but I don't think I'm gonna make it to save any of these guys anyways. Great shot. And we didn't win the north either. It's never a good sign. But yeah, one of the reasons why they're nerfing it is because, well, what they've said is that because the rate of fire is so fast and you can chain track people, I guess that's apparently frustrating gameplay, and so they don't want to allow you to do that, so they're nerfing that a little bit. But they're really not nerfing it that much, so I don't know. Let's see. Enemy armor destroyed. And what's funny is that this Cromwell knows where I am the whole time, but he doesn't push over at me. I mean, I guess technically he doesn't need to because his team is mopping up my team, but... In the meanwhile, our forces here valiantly putting up a struggle. My AT-8 lasted longer than I expected him to, so I guess it's good for him. Great shot. But the Hummel hummels him. Otherwise, it probably would have had a little more time to kill these guys. And then when you're in against odds like these, so there's basically 3 tanks. You kind of ignore the RD for now. Right? The Matilda was far on the back line, on the A line when he was last seen, but by now, that was a long time ago by now, and who knows where he is. But presumably those guys were both headed towards the cap through that middle area. So we'll see what we can find. Enemy vehicle destroyed. And what was funny about this game is that this was like on a, one of those 2x weekends where every battle, as long as you were within the top 10, you got 2x experience for. And so I was trying to grind this crew a little bit. And so I played a few battles on this FV304, and this wasn't even the best battle, but it was certainly the most hilarious. And this sort of goes along the thinking, like even if you're not in an artillery, a large part of the thinking is that you don't want to come up on the side that they're facing or that they think that you're going to be on. It's easy enough to shift around to the other side. Well, I wasn't sure if that guy was going to chase me or not, but he doesn't show up for a while, so I figured he's not chasing me. I don't think their birch gun is even aiming at me. I think he's just like snapshotting because he like doesn't get anywhere close to me. And then again, if you can always approach on the side where they don't expect you to be, that works a lot. Not just against people who aren't so good at the game, but even people who are. Um, you have to try to make it a coin flip as to whether they're going to be on the side that you're going onto or not. And you can always, like when you're in artillery, use little hills to your advantage because you'll have the arc to shoot over them. It's kind of like having a gun with a lot of depression. So if you need to spot for yourself, you can go over a hill, then back down over the hill, and then, get a shot off. And there's nothing like the arty snapshot. And then the miss on the Ole, that always hurts. The quote unquote bad thing about the FV304 is that it doesn't really have a fast traverse, so it's kind of stick in the mudish at times. And then, if their turret's facing away from you, you can always take your time and make sure you get a good shot. And now the burst gun is actually taking time to aim. And that's at least part of the reason why the FV304 is gonna get nerfed. Here, hang on, let me, I'll show one more really quickly. I'll do this one in super speed. And this is really just to sort of highlight the accuracy of the tank and the fact that you can sit like relatively close to a lot of terrain, and you can shoot over it, and you can land your shells over on the other side of things relatively easily, and that's one of the reasons why this tank is really powerful. See, like this guy is on the side of a cliff, and I can hit him from where I'm at. So it's a lot. It's kind of like the CGC at tier 10, just a little bit different, slightly different mechanics, but it's got that sort of crazy arc where you kind of have to rethink what is safe and what's not safe. You just have to be able to manage the distance that you need to be able to shoot them at, which is usually the problem. Because it does have that short range where basically, as at the range that you can shoot people, they can detect you, more or less. So you find yourself going into these hills a lot. And that's why the way that the arc works is really to your benefit. Because you can be really close to somebody and still be, reasonably able to shoot them.
Critical hit. Enemy hit. Critical hit. That was close. Enemy vehicle destroyed. Enemy hit. Enemy vehicle destroyed. We didn't penetrate their armor. Great shot. Enemy hit. Critical hit. Enemy vehicle destroyed. Great shot. Enemy vehicle destroyed.
And there you go. So that's why it's being nerfed. I did like 4K damage that game. And yeah, so farewell FV304, we shall miss thee, just like we missed the SU-27.